Our heart is the engine inside our body that keeps everything running.
आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ। एक नई दुनिया की आवाज़ आपकी आवाज़, विज्ञान की आवाज़ की आवाज़।
You are listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz podcast, catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication as part of the popularization of STEM. Produced by Media for Community Foundation, content support by Kadal Osai, FM 90.4 Community Radio, and hosted by V. Krishnan. In the last 2 decades, India has witnessed major advancements in most sectors such as healthcare, infrastructure, industry, and agriculture. Advancement in medical technology is one of the key steps in achieving the target goals in healthcare. In this fast-growing sector, India is trying to catch up by promoting local manufacturing and research and development in this sector. Imports meet over 75% of India's total demand for medical devices, and 30% of these are supplied from the United States alone. This high percentage of import is not only an economic burden, but also leads to a mismatch between the design of technologies and the actual clinical scenario, healthcare structure in India, and the needs of the patients. The Government of India, in consultation with various ministries, trade bodies, and associations, is taking steps towards rationalization of the policies and duties to give impetus to its principle of Make in India. Today, in this episode, we are going to meet a researcher whose research area is life-saving devices, especially in cardiovascular regime, and developing a pump which is to be implanted inside the human body and directly deliver drugs into certain regions of interest with minimal side effects. Apparently, at present, these devices are being imported. Mr. DrSharath Nair from Sri Chitrai Tirunal Institute for Medical Science and Technology has a lot to say about this. Now, let's get started. Mr. DrSharath S. Nair, EngineerE.
Myself, DrSharath S. Nair. I'm working as Scientist Engineer F in Department of Medical Device Engineering, Biomedical Technology wing SCTIMST. I am from Kerala state in a district named Kollam. I did my bachelor's in technology in electrical and electronics specialization from TKM College of Engineering under Kerala University. After that, I worked in Larsen & Toubro Limited for a year, and after that I joined National Institute of Technology for my post-graduation in electrical engineering specialization. From there I moved to Amrita Institute as assistant professor and later to GE Healthcare in Bangalore. And after that, after working for a few years in different organizations, I came to SCTIMST. I've been working here for the last 11 years now, basically in the research on life-saving medical devices, which includes baby warmers, patient warmers, cardiovascular products, especially various configurations of artificial heart called ventricular assist device, etc. I have been working on cardiovascular devices, especially to develop a left ventricular assist device, and also on chronic diseases, pain management devices, which includes intrathecal pumps, which can deliver drugs into specific regions of the body for controlling the pain, reducing the pain for patients which are in the last stage of cancer, and also to minimize the symptoms of diseases like cerebral palsy and stiffness, reducing the stiffness of muscles, like that. This is basically my research area.
That's great to know, sir. Let's also hope and wish the researcher and his team for a successful outcome. Let's hear more from Mr. DrSharath Nair. Technology development and its use for the common man.
Okay, if you look into the various life-saving devices, none of them are actually made in India. Most of these devices are coming from abroad. If you look into the statistics, it's like 85% of all the medical devices now we are procuring from outside. Basically, the life-saving devices which are in the cardiovascular regime are very complex and very challenging. So it needs a lot of time, a lot of money, investment, and also my research is to develop those devices which are life-saving, especially when a patient has gone into a stage of end-stage heart failure where the heart is no longer pumping the blood. So in that situation, foreign countries, there are options for having an artificial heart or replacement of the heart with a mechanical system, but it's very costly to get into our land and then use it for a patient. So my research, we have a team working here in this research, so I'm also part of the team. So we are working on developing a ventricular assist device, which is a configuration of artificial heart, which is for helping those kind of patients who are in the end stage heart failure. As of now, we have developed the technology, proof of concept the technology, and transferred the technology to industry. They are actually scaling up in follow-up with us, and hopefully it will come to the market soon. So that will help the patients, the lakhs of people. We hope that lakhs of people who are in this stage, otherwise they needed a donor heart to have a transplantation, but unfortunately we don't have this donor heart available immediately when a patient goes to such a situation. So we hope that hospitals like super specialty hospitals where such kind of patients are treated, if they have availability of this ventricular assist device, then immediately they can use this and extend the life of the person for a few days, and by the time they can get the transplantation done. So that is our focus, in one of the focus. And another one is like chronic diseases. There are many chronic diseases like diabetes, then cerebral palsy, which is like a neuro disorder, and then there is a stiff man, like the person will be very stiff, the muscles will be very stiff, spasm, they cannot move, they cannot walk. So such kind of patients need continuous medication, lifelong medications to have a good living, a normal life. But even though they need a continuous medication, it has to be done in a hospital environment, so they cannot do it on a regular home environment. Similarly, those patients who are in the palliative care stage of a cancer, they need to also have certain drugs continuously being given. So such situations, we are trying to develop a pump which can get into the body, which can be implanted in the body, kept inside the body, human body, and directly deliver the drug into certain regions of interest. For example, certain portions of the body which can take this drug immediately with less side effect. So such kind of pumps are not being developed in the country. So we are, even though it's available in outside countries, we have to pay a large amount and get it to India, and so our work is on developing such technologies for the country.
For a better healthcare and for economic welfare, the changing economic and regulatory environments, the medical devices industry is expected to grow significantly. Expectations are always there. Let's now listen to Mr. Sharath Nair, who is going to share his experiences about the present and future of the artificial heart pump.
In fact, there are no other organization in the country who are working in this particular field. So we started 40 years back. SCTIMST started with the purpose of developing and translating biomedical products. The first product was a heart valve, which is going inside the heart of a person when the valve gets a failure. And after that, we moved on with other major organs of our body, like replacing the functions of the lungs. So we made the oxygenator in the institute. So the oxygenator helped in having successful bypass surgeries and all. Then our effort was on making circulatory support system. When a patient undergoes a bypass surgery, his blood comes out of the body and then recirculated back to the body. So it needs the functions of the biological heart to be mimicked. So our focus for the last 20 years was to develop these components for the bypass surgery equipments, which was 100% of those components were coming from abroad, and they are all crores of rupees. So later, with the knowledge gathered in that research, in 2015 so we started working on using that knowledge into developing various configurations of heart assist devices. So there we started working with the pump technology, which is at par with now currently available technologies in the world. There are only a few countries in the world who are having the technology as of now. So this technology development in SCTIMST bring India also into that list. In the future, I believe the similar conversion of knowledge which we have gathered for the last 20-30 years into this domain will help lakhs of heart failed patients to have treatment available in many hospitals in a cost effective manner, and also will have minimally invasive technologies which may not require a large surgical procedure, huge investment on the surgical procedures, and a lot of time and post surgical treatment in a hospital. So we'll have a minimally invasive treatments mostly, which will also help the heart failure patients to come back to life. So our future, I hope, will be mostly on minimally invasive technologies.
That's something to be proud of, right? In a recent conference, our present Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Shri Mandavia, has quoted, "India has been recognized as the pharmacy of the world." He has also mentioned that it's time for India to take the lead in the manufacturing of affordable, innovative and quality medical devices. Our government's proactive policies aligned with Make in India campaign supports the indigenous production of medical devices. In addition to this, let's ask from the researcher himself on India's ranking in this particular area of research. So, who are our competitors or contemporaries in this field, both nationally and globally?
To my knowledge, there are only 4 other countries in the world who are basically having this particular type of research and any type of technology being developed. It includes USA, Germany, Russia, and Japan, and to some extent now certain areas France is also coming up, but not into majorly into this area. So with the type of research which you are doing here, I hope India will be in the map of this 4 to 5 countries who are working on biomedical research, which is translating in nature, which makes medical devices and make it useful to the patient, suffering patients. So I believe we'll be like one among 5 countries in the world who are now having in this particular area of research. We as a research organization, SCTIMST works on a translational biomedical research where our focus is on identifying the unmet clinical need from various doctors from within our institution as well as from other institutions all across the country. So we try to identify which are the most needed unmet clinical need, and we prioritize it, and we try to work on that. I don't think that there are any other R&D organizations in the country as of now working in that particular model. Globally, there are a few industries and a few institutions. For example, institution-wise, R&D institutions-wise or university-wise, there is Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, and then St. Jude. Whereas in the industry side, there are Medtronic, Boston Scientific, then St. Jude, Stryker. Those are the various companies which are working in this area.
Having these many pioneers and competition, how is the Indian industry associated with your research and development?
For a long time, we have developed a large base of Indian industries. Even the first heart valve, which is a cardiovascular product, was taken by an Indian industry, and they popularized it. More than 1.85 lakh people are being helped by this particular technology. And later now if you look into the scenario, there are a few companies which are working on cardiovascular. For example, Sahajanand, Biorad, they are all working in cardiovascular. And for those working in the field of implantable devices, there is Merrill Life Sciences and TTK Healthcare. All other companies are working in biomedical, but mostly on a less complex devices, not these complex devices.
Interesting, sir. Now please summarize your research publications, patents and awards.
In In total, I have filed for around 23 patents. Out of that, 6 patents have been granted and 4 design registrations have been granted. I have more than 10 publications after coming into this particular field. And recently, I have been awarded the fellowship of INAE SERB, APJ Abdul Kalam Technology National Innovation Fellowship. And earlier, I have been given the Best Biomedical Technology Award from Institute. And then before that, Mahe Young Scientist Award. I joined here as initially having a fellowship called the Chitra High Value Fellowship in 2012, and later I became the scientist here. So these are the various achievements I had.
It was great listening to you, sir. All the best for your present and future research work on behalf of our Vigyan Ki Awaaz listeners. Thank you for being a part of this podcast.
Thank you very much.
Okay, listeners, see you in the next episode. Now it's time for me to sign off. But before that, let me just remind you, you were listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz podcast as a part of STEM popularization, catalyzed and supported by the National Council for Science and Technology Communication, produced by Media for Community Foundation, content support by Kadalosai FM 90.4 Community Radio, hosted by V. Krishnan. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.